Hello. Can someone hear me? Somehow this doesn't. If you hit it, if I hit it, okay. All right. So once again, distinguished excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to, let me call it the final section. I don't want to call it closing because work in GEO is continuous. After we leave here, it's a pack of actions we have to take. Back home, do our homework, and hopefully next year again we come back. So there are more people coming inside. First of all, it's very amazing that in the opening section we had very packed room. And I think we can clap for ourselves because at the closing, we have almost the same number, which is really encouraging. So at the beginning, we had mentioned that first is a 2-day very intensive set of sections. We had 2 town halls. We have 28 sections, 28 sections and several community events with a lot of showcases and posters and what have you. And what I could also see as one of the outcomes was also the fact that in every break, you could see that connections were being built. And I think that is very, very, very important, that for GEO to be able to scale up, we need that long-term partnerships that we have nurtured here. So this final section, first of all, I would like us to, I hope our technical team is set. I would like us to take a video recap just to see what have transpired in the 2 intensive days. Then after that, we'll have some reports from some of the sections. Please do bear with us. There were several sections. I know it's getting to dinner time. If we have to listen to every section, we will not go home. But one important thing that I want to mention is that, of course, all the sections we are going to have a report. But please do remember we have the GEO blog posts. I think that is an important message. Take note to send your contributions because some of you were not able to hear what is in your heart. So please do well to share your blog post with the GEO Secretariat so that we can jointly work towards finding mechanisms in investing towards Earth intelligence for all. On that note, let's have our recap video. Oh, the smiles and all the discussions showed how passionate. I think is it coming again? Okay. All right, that is really good. But I hope each of you was able to find yourself somewhere. All right, thank you very much. So right now we have several report back, and what I will request of all reporters is to remember of the time. You were given some short time to do that, and you just sit where you are and give your report. So the first report from the first town hall, we asked Adiswa if you can just be there and give your report. You don't need to move to the stage. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I was asked to check for camera. Okay. So this was the first town hall. This discussion came in the heels of the phase 2 of the design of the GEO work program for the Earth Intelligence for All strategy having come out. There is no doubt of the increasing demand of Earth Intelligence solutions that are not only about making data accessible, but also deliver impact. And we had this in the discussions as well as from the opening ceremony. So to do this, GEO designed the GEO work program design provides research to operations pipeline, indicating we need to move beyond short-term projects and towards solutions that are investable and owned by users. So 3 key insights emerged. One is the first on the co-design to co-creation is central to impact. We had practical examples such as the E-shape approach that gives us ideas on how to actually do co-design and co-creation. GEO-LDN provided us with examples of how countries responded to calls for solutions and they led those solutions. And with support from the GEO activities themselves. Some of the initiatives like the Global Heat Resilience Service are plugged into existing communities rather than building solutions in isolation. The second one was the partnerships, which we form as being fundamental in how we actually deliver impact. Examples included the GEO wetlands working directly with the UN Convention, scientific and technical bodies to build trust, to also end the mandate and to also provide transparency to the solutions so that the buy-in of the solutions once are tabulated are realized. And the Global Heat Resilience Index establishing formal partnerships, including with private sector for technology provisions. We saw in the poll in terms of the participation of the private sector that we see the private sector not only as technology providers, but also they participate in the contribution, in the development of the services and the solutions within the GEO work program. A key takeaway was that strong partnerships take time. We needed to slow down early to build the shared understanding, leading to more durable and trusted outcomes. Here we also had this discussion around bringing on board the social and behavioral sciences aspect so that we can strengthen how we understand each other and how we understand our users. The third one was on the clear and measurable outcomes and impact is what unlocks investments. Panel emphasized the importance of focusing on outcomes rather than outputs, as this also being feedback that is being received from donors. There was an appreciation of the framework that GEO had allowed flexibility to ensure that the indicators are aligned to the indicators that are already being given to the donor results framework. In terms of what this could mean for the GEO work program going forward, and I think we're putting this as recommendations and actions because we're asked to sort of like frame our feedback in this sense, but the panel was showing that these are actually being done, and I guess what we're encouraging here is to take these as best practices throughout the work program, embedding the co-design and co-creation quite early on with in the activities, strengthen partnerships, including with local institutions for sustainment after the initiatives have sort of like moved on, with that inclusion of private sector. And in terms of the results framework, making sure that we put forward simple and very clear, purposeful indicators that clearly demonstrate outcomes and articulate the envisaged impact. Because with these in place, we can talk about how Earth intelligence is delivering value, and also we can start using this for articulating impact, sustainment, and leveraging the investments that we're needing to deliver through the GEO Work program. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. So now I go to Mark.
Okay, so now we're moving to the town hall from this morning. As you see, I didn't get the memo, or perhaps more correctly, didn't read the memo on the template, but in my excuse, this was done quickly after lunch, since it was the only time I had since this morning's session. So anyway, what I did was I focused on the 3 areas that we agreed we wanted to see outcome from this morning's discussion. The session, of course, was on harnessing innovative technologies for Earth intelligence solutions. And I remind everyone, of course, that this was very much embedded in the GEO post-2025 strategy as a key element, although I suspect, as we discussed this morning, that really none of us could have anticipated how much has happened in the last 3 years since that strategy was basically written. There was a engaging panel discussion, and as I said, these 3 areas were the areas we were hoping to summarize the outputs from those discussions on. So first of all, scalability. There are some clear examples of scalable toolboxes that are being provided. We heard from Vincent-Henri from ECMWF on this forecast in a box, which has been demonstrated in Malawi and many other areas. But I think it's fair to say in general that there are tool sets available to the Earth intelligence community that can be used to scale up these capabilities over many different regions. Secondly, there's AI-powered common processes which are being implemented, processes which we've all been working on in kind of the traditional world are now exploiting these new technologies, and we heard from Yifeng the example specifically on change detection. Research to operations is key, especially in the context of embracing these new technologies, and perhaps more importantly, the fact that we need to have these parallel tracks of research and operations that we take advantage of, with the operational services underpinning additional research and innovation activities. Training data was identified as a key aspect and element to scalability, both from the positive perspective. We had the example from the reanalysis data sets such as ERA5. From a negative perspective, there's still a strong feeling that there's a geographic disparity in access to training data. Then collaborative frameworks, as well as the training data, the actual frameworks and platforms we use to develop these AI and machine learning tools on were also underscaled, and there needs to be multi-scale commitment to embrace these technologies at both global, regional, and national level. On the inclusive innovation side, which was another key area that we addressed in a cross-cutting sense, again, feel that we needed to engage through technology, and the example was given of how at the citizen level, VHR provides a direct association with the environments we're living in. Technology brings us together. GeoGlam gave a key example of how some of these new tools are taking advantage of contributions from many different GEO members and participating organizations. Fundamental aspect is building capacity on these, as always, and sorting out regional disparities in innovation uptake. There is also a need for integrated workflows, which help us really build these last miles to the end users. And we should really put ethics of use of these methods on par with our focus on standards as well. Privacy considerations, the multi-licensing for the VHR data, which came in again in the session this afternoon, and access to the compute resources is still a limiting factor for many to really fully embrace these terms. And then finally, on the GEO's niche in these, I think there was a strong feeling that we need an entrusted broker, and GEO could serve that role on ensuring that AI is ethically uptaken in Earth intelligence activities. There was even talk that there could be some type of a GEO stamp of approval in addressing these. Technology for last mile applications is another area where GEO, compared to other international coordination bodies, we felt could take a lead. Ensuring as well that, of course, GEO in the broadest sense is considered in this context, integrating both satellite and ground-based observations. GEO best practices, which of course we've heard this afternoon from the launch of the new living book from the AI for EO community. And finally, there was some feeling that some member states need a recognizable global entity that could advise countries on their AI strategies and how to integrate this. And then my final comment is a comment that was made by France from the European Commission, that we really shouldn't be complacent about these new technologies and things. GEO needs to be very proactive in making sure we remain up to date on the state of the art and engage with the relevant communities. Thank you. I'll stop there, Amos.
Oh, thank you very much. In fact, I'm touched by the GEO niche there, where you say GEO as entrusted. Oh, they move so fast. Can you, because I think that is very important as a take-home message. GEO as entrusted broker of AI-based Earth intelligence. I think it's something very catchy, and we need to think around the next 1 year if we'll be able to come out with something like that. I think that will be very good. So now we move on to the reports from the regional GEO. So first, I have Haki. I hope I'm calling your name well. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Before inviting the session leads to take the floor, I would like to briefly reflect on the overall framing of the regional GEO sessions on behalf of the GEO Secretariat. Actually, as at the beginning of the 2025, the GEO Secretariat has established an inter-regional coordination platform that convenes virtually every quarter, bringing together the 4 regional GEOs to exchange information, share best practices, and coordinate upcoming activities. And this year, rather than a single-person event, in conjunction with the symposium, the regional GEO Secretariat decided to move toward a more open, collaborative, and distributed format. The aim was to strengthen engagement between regional GEOs, GEO work program activities, and other partners through a series of interconnected sessions under the umbrella of regional GEO community events. Over the past 2 days, the 4 sessions brought together 34 speakers and 19 showcases and many valuable exchanges among the panelists representing regional GEOs and GEO initiatives. The discussions covered a wide range of themes and created important opportunities for operational collaboration and engagement across the GEO community. So once again, it became clear that regional GEOs play a critical role in translating global capabilities into practical solutions that respond to regional and local needs, and that GEO initiatives should work even more closely with the regional GEO structures. So on behalf of the GEO Secretariat, I would like to thank all the session leads, moderators, speakers, and participants for their contribution and active engagement. With that, I would like to invite regional GEO session leads to briefly share the main takeaways and recommendations from their sessions.
Gufe?
Thank you. think it may be more harder to summarize the sessions through achievements in 2 minutes compared with the implementation from strategy to action. In this session, distinguished guest speakers from European Commission, South Africa, United States, and China shared their progress and achievements in transforming the strategy to nature actions within their country and the region. Their efforts include the increasing financial support, promoting open sharing of public and commercial data, exploring the decision support and public service, conducting research on Earth intelligence engineering and technological architectures, and formulating relevant policies. The main recommendations are as follows. First is the Earth system must prioritize the decision support, improve government services and legislation to provide decision-making bodies and public tangible benefits. Second is fully advance integration of artificial intelligence with Earth observations, explore engineering architecture for Earth Earth intelligence development, and design the user-centric solutions. Third is further enhance interoperability in data, facilities, large physical models, and applications to achieve global, equally accessible Earth intelligence. The last one is to emphasize application of commercial elements and establish categorized management mechanism to mobile sources. Highly appreciate the guest speakers and moderator, Dr. Haki, and participant of the session for your contribution. Thank you.
Michelle?
Thank you, Chair. The session on data partnership and regional action was really a unique opportunity to convene stakeholders working on the topic of human settlements. So I can say the experiment is fully successful. We recognize that human settlements are a thematic focus across all regional geos, and different thematic flavors emerge. For example, we have resilience focus in Asia and Oceania, urban expansion in Africa, and climate neutrality and smart cities across the European region. Contributions from all the geo-regions had their experience presented, both showcasing the substantive work on the thematic areas, but also from the policy stakeholder perspective, and this was very valuable. This is really key to ensure a link between innovation and impact. And it emerged that human planet products are a structural elements in several last mile policy application for decision making at the local and global scale. GEO Human Planet is being effectively integrated with other data from across the work program of GEO in a clear demonstration of Earth intelligence applications in thematic areas such as air quality, heat, and urban expansion. This is really key to show the integration between statistical and Earth observation sources. Key outstanding issues for the future uptake include obviously localized indicators and the need for capacity development and data interoperability. Interoperability emerges not only from our session, but I've heard this all across the conference. The session also promoted the need and surface the need for feedback loops between global and regional and national products, but also this new format of regional geo and specific work program activities really showcase the importance of engaging with regional geos early in the work program implementation to take full stock and leverage of the convening power of regional geos to really make impact in the local and the national application. Thank you.
Patricia?
Yes, thank you very much. We had a very dynamic session with representatives from 3 different regions and 2 regional geos represented. We had a hurricane response all around the theme of disaster preparedness and response and partnerships. We featured 3 case studies. The first one was from Jamaica in the Hurricane Melissa response with a kind of the local government and an NGO partnership. We had the newest member of GEO, Togo, sharing their experience and partnering with UNDRR and WMO. And we also had China representing the academia, sharing some of their research on slope vulnerability. So one of the common themes across all was technology is great. We need it, we love it, but it's not enough. That these partnerships that are founded locally, led locally, are really the key to success, particularly when they embrace kind of the global capabilities and the knowledge from the global community, but applied locally. Another one was that these strategies and lessons can be that are created, tested, incubated in one region can be leveraged across others. We had representatives from AfriGeo and AmeriGeo to respond to the case studies that were shared and talked about how they can learn from each other, both in how AfriGeo and AmeriGeo function operationally and the projects and implementations that they execute. As I said, the partnerships that cut across multiple sectors are the most successful, and they can leverage each other's partnerships. Like in the Jamaica example, we had a partnership with Flying Labs, which already has a network of 40 country members in their Flying Labs network that can then complement the regional GEO network. And bringing the NGOs and academia and government and private sector together is really the key to advancing more quickly. And the last one is, of course, we all know, but it's worth saying that strategies for disaster response must be well in place and practiced in advance of the disaster, and that we can embrace new technologies like AI to embed Earth intelligence in timely decision-making. So we practice that in advance and can kind of turn it on when the disaster strikes and help in preparation. Thank you.
Lastly, we have Seji. I hope I'm calling your name well.
Okay. The main outcome of our event is that we realized the importance and value of the GEO community. A great opportunity to get all main stakeholders, United Nations, European Commission, businesses, and science in one place at appropriate time in order to get a synergy and to combine efforts to cope with environmental impact of the conflicts. Another one is the environmental impact of the conflict is not only a Ukrainian problem, it's a common problem, and particularly for neighboring countries. And the last one is that the pilot project in Ukraine could be a starting point in order to develop, update, and test technologies that could be used in other conflict zones. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we move to the report from the ODOC section. Maria Francisco.
Thank you. So we say ODOC session, but in fact we had 5 sessions. So the GEO in situ strategy and its implementation plan. It was opened by Alessandro Turco, who started this session introducing the integration of the ENVRI hub, which is a European hub for research in situ, and the GEO Knowledge Hub, enabling users from each community to discover the resources from both hubs from the usual portal. This is a real success story so far, and we hope to have many more of those. GREX was next. Yes, I was lost in the slide. GREX is a tool developed in the context of a GeoID project and the data knowledge working group supported by the European Environment Agency and the European Commission to express in situ data needs in a comprehensive way, capture them into a needs database that can be used by policymakers to identify where there are gaps to address needs and to map relevant data sets with the needs. The GREX is an integral part of the implementation of the new GEO in situ data strategy. Then we had Francesca Piatto from ERSC, who introduced the Enforce project as a contribution to citizen science by developing data readiness level framework. She also introduced a new Plaza toolkit for access and report environmental issues. Eleni Atanasopoulou introduced the DL cluster as a collaborative approach for filling gaps by collecting non-space Earth observation, such as drone-based, LiDAR-based, or sensor-based and in situ data, for more resilient decisions, reminding the increasing diversity of in situ. Then last but not least, of course, we had Ellen Glaves, who made a last presentation of the in situ data strategy before its submission for adoption on Thursday at the GEO plenary. We had some discussion on the strategic objectives of the strategy and how we plan to go forward. All these initiatives plan integrations with the GEO Knowledge Hub. Then we had a session, next slide, on National GEO Knowledge Hub with several national representatives. And what emerged from this session on National GEO Knowledge Hub was far from a technical showcase, in fact. At its heart, this session was about reusability as a philosophy. Felipe Carlos set the tone perfectly. The GEO Knowledge Hub is not just a global repository, it is a reusable building block that countries can take, customize, and deploy to build sovereign national hubs connected to the global ecosystem while reflecting local priorities. So South Africa has been a pioneer. Bolelang Sibola spoke about the challenges of being the first, but also the pride that comes with it. They have pushed the platform's boundaries, validated the customization model, and even implemented a marketplace for products which are not fully open. In doing so, they didn't just build their own hub, they made the path easier for everyone who followed. And Ghana followed. That path acknowledging South Africa's trailblazing role and share how Ghana built on that foundation, guided by a clear vision, strategic pillars, and defining priority areas. The ambition now is to deepen cooperation with GEO and continue growing. We had a presentation from China. We brought a different scale to the conversation. Of course, it's China. So Li Guoqing presented China GEOS, a vast national infrastructure, providing access to a huge volumes of Earth observation resources, and outlined plans to connect it with the GEO Knowledge Hub, opening new possibilities for a global knowledge exchange. Then Teradue showed us how all of this can be made deployable, reproducible, and sovereign. Pedro Pereira Gonçalves described how Teradue, drawing on years' commitment to the Open Geospatial Consortium standards and European Space Agency projects, supported Ghana in building a self-deployable knowledge hub grounded in reproducible open science, running on Kubernetes, built on open source components, designed for portability and long-term sustainability. This identifies a lot of words that comes with the open knowledge statement, if you know it by memory. What emerged from this session is the vision of an infrastructure designed to grow continuously. Every new hub enriches the network, validates the model, and lowers the barrier for the next one. This is not just a deployment, it is an organic and ongoing expansion of the global knowledge ecosystem. Next. Then we had a session on principle, rules, and tools for the GEO infrastructure. So Gregory Giuliani, that everyone knows, announced an unofficial release of the GEO Data Management Plan Self-Assessment Tool on the Opidor platform, enabling automatic generation of data management plans based on GEO data sharing and data management principles. We have discussed that very often people and projects, for instance, European projects that have to provide a data management plan, see that as an administrative burden, when in fact it should have been looked at as a research asset. You learn a lot doing a data management plan, and we need to emphasize that executing the plan rather than just creating it is the goal. We discussed that short-term projects can rely on existing infrastructure, such as the Knowledge Hub, but there are others also, rather than building new catalogs. We need a culture shift to embed the data management plans into data workflow and active stewardship throughout project lifecycle. Then I presented that since 2022, the Data and Knowledge Working Group builds dialogue series for knowledge transfer to increase awareness on data sharing and data management, to foster community engagement. We are now getting good traction because we could see this year that the dialogue series has got a global engagement achieved with participation from Europe, America, Latin America, Africa, and Asia. And you could see the distribution here of the participants and the people coming online to check the resources. Next. We had a session on geo infrastructure and AI. This session started with an introduction and discussion on the new Geo Knowledge Hub features based on AI, LLM, semantic search, agentic search that will be demonstrated at the plenary in the context of the geo infrastructure. Then we had the presentation of the CEOS GPT, that is a platform providing high-level interface for access and analysis of Earth observation data. The first scenario driving the work is to access insightful time series from the GeoGlam platform enabled by the Geo Knowledge Hub. Then we had the announcement of the white paper that you also had on stage by Yufang, Unlocking Earth Intelligence for All, AI Driving Earth Solutions, developed by the AI for EO. We had the announcement of a new open source tool, AI Assisted Metadata Creator from the GRC, to address the challenge of documenting metadata as well as possible. It is metadata schema agnostic, supporting multiple profiles out of the box. We had a presentation of the bedrock of digital China, AI-powered spatial temporal foundation model for China. So we can see AI, as a matter of fact, arriving through all these different components. Next. Then we had a session for geo infrastructure use and indigenous islands. So it started with Geoversity, which is a learning platform that is exploring right now with the Geo Knowledge Hubs on some collaboration to deepen the partnership. This keeps on growing the infrastructure that I explained before, that we can see now an expansion of the connections. Accessibility, which is the first principles of the data management principles, means more than making just data sets public. So the youth say that open knowledge must be understandable, affordable, localized, inclusive, and context aware, particularly for the youth and underrepresented communities. Then community first design, that we also call sometimes co-design, calls for reversing traditional top-down workflow, starting with local realities, priorities, and life experience. So co-designing with the users before building technical solutions or platforms. Then we mentioned the fact that we have to make sure that skills and EO ecosystems are growing together. This is something which is also addressed in some European projects. Youth needs hands-on learning, which makes the success, for instance, of hackathons to develop technical skills, but also AI literacy. And we all know that interdisciplinary background is needed to be able to be ready to work in teams with different backgrounds, which are always needed when you address real Earth observation scenarios, real issues. Applied real-world opportunities are always appreciated. Then Knowledge Hub, you have to understand that they are not just repositories. They are space for collaboration from global to local, from local to global, hopefully with the implementation of more national GEO knowledge hub, as we started to do with South Africa and Ghana, creating meaningful pathway for the youth to engage with Earth observation knowledge at whatever level. Then data does not interpret itself. It is why we are so many experts in this room, because it is not magic. Indigenous and intergenerational knowledge systems provide meaning, historical memory, ecological understanding, and contextual intelligence, which are essential for responsible Earth observation and decision-making. And this is why there was an official launch of the Geo-Indigenous Alliance AI Biodiversity Toolkit and Relational Values Methodology, and an official launch of the creation of a Geo-Indigenous Alliance Knowledge Hub, facilitating their collaboration with the GEO Work Program. Then innovation and progress should serve the communities, not overshadow them. And this is what the GEO infrastructure based on the GEO Knowledge Hub enables, facilitating the interconnection of systems which are distributed from different communities or nations to enable them to keep their sovereignty. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very Thank you very much. That was a very long one, and you did, you really did your best. Thank you.
I did.
Yes. So I try to talk about this section, section 6. So first of all, I want to really thank the Secretariat that put up this survey. That was very important. It has brought in new ideas, which we need to work with. So the survey clearly shows that there is the demand. And the other thing is that, yes, there is a demand, but there are also some challenges. And GEO, with the convening power, need to take some steps. So I think during the section, aside this slide, what we've discussed is that there need to be some concrete steps. One, to make sure that those who are already providing some free access to some of this level of data, there is more stronger collaboration with them to make sure that it is scaling up. As we just saw that we should not be complacent, we have to find mechanism to scale that up. And the other thing is that to exploit other options of financing for other data sets that may not be available. And one of the windows we discussed was trying to look at the Green Climate Fund, a mechanism to do that. And this particular section ended with we saying that the next big step we want to take is to hold a meeting and to strategize within the next 1 year to see that we have some concrete things that we can report back to you, hopefully next year. So on that note, we go to the next report, which is supposed to be on AI for EO. Okay.
Thank you very much. So in our session, I have announced the Living Book. Finally, the QR code of the Living Book was released, and we already have a couple of volunteers who want to contribute. So you're all welcome to contribute. And during the session, Tessera, one of the newer geospatial foundation model, was introduced, and also how to benchmark geospatial foundation models. Currently, we have about 100 geospatial foundation models that need to be benchmarked. What is good for what, and what are the limitations? So that was also introduced. And also agentic AI systems developed by Esri was also presented. And then how AI is used for biodiversity monitoring, tree species identification was also presented, a very nice use case. And then we had lively discussion with the group. And I think we all agree we're now at the golden age of Earth observation with the AI models, and we're able to leverage large volumes of EO data to provide automated, scalable Earth intelligence. So we're really in the right time. We're happy, we're here. And also to provide fast monitoring and decision support. For that to become a reality, I think GEO has a unique role to play to help with scaling the responsible AI-driven Earth observation for Earth intelligence. So from our perspective, maybe there are a few things is really coordinate open IFR-EO ecosystems, open data, you're already doing it, open tools, benchmarks, and living book will be continually updated and reduce bias and geospatial integrity, representation inequality. I think GEO can promote representative training data, local validation. We have a global community here. It's really important to have this. And also build trust for operational use. Often people don't trust. So how do we build trust to operational users and stakeholders? It's really an important thing that GEO can, from our knowledge base and to demonstrate these are reliable. And then the last one is enable uptake through guidance and use cases. We are continually should collect use cases and also provide guidelines. When AI is needed, when AI is not, is not needed. So sustainable use of AI for Earth intelligence. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we go to the next section where it was tackled on the coordination between land, agriculture, and biodiversity. Angie?
Yes, thank you. So you can change the slide if you want. So it was about turning coordination into impact, delivering coherent country support across agriculture, land, and biodiversity. It was a session by the land-related GEO flagships, which is GEO Bonn, GEO GLEM, GFOI, and GEO LDN. GFOI provided a video message because unfortunately they could not make it to be here. We also had a strong message from the UNCCD acknowledging our work and giving us like a task to do. And we took it all, and we did this together with the regional initiatives, Digital Earth Africa and Digital Earth Pacific. We took the country perspective in this session. So our vision is, so land is the integrator of multiple SDGs. And we know policy and also the Earth observations community are organized in silos. So coherent approaches in reporting and implementation can save resources. So there's a clear task for the land-related flagships and the regional initiatives to come from coordination to actually operational integration to provide more coherent country support across the 3 Rio conventions. And there you can break it down to 2 tasks, basically. So one is on capacity development, and this is crucial not to have siloed single trainings, but countries need continued capacity development. And this can include continued regional help desks or support mechanisms that support the countries across the Rio Conventions to improve access to technical expertise, peer exchange, and country support. And the second is harmonization in data methods and workflows that is needed across the Rio Conventions to support more efficient reporting, but also implementation processes. We had a follow-up session today after the community event with a very concrete planning session with all those actors, and we came up with concrete results that we decided we will start with a joint activity on Rio synergies, taking the upcoming EFRI's GEO Symposium in Nigeria as an opportunity and kick off a joint task.
Thank you very much. So also one clear opportunity to have some result as soon as possible. Now we move to the youth section.
Thank you very much, moderator, for giving me the floor. My name is Marta Koch, and I'm pleased to present as lead organizer of this event on behalf of the GEO Youth Community of Practice team. I'm afraid I followed the template verbatim, so you hopefully the subheadings will help guide you through the slide as well. So why this matters for GEO and the broader community. So our event was on investing in future Earth intelligence leaders. We launched the GEO Youth team and the mentorship program that we've just announced. So our event served to empower aspiring young leaders, essential for observation sustainability long term. Young people we know are driving innovation and localized Earth intelligence solutions across key global challenges that GEO deals with. In terms of key messages from our event, we focus on developing mentorship, networks, tools, training, etc., and access to opportunities worldwide to all of our regional partners as well. We focused on youth capacity building, which contributes to the UN SDGs, Paris Agreement, and Sendai framework, and investing in people, young people as people versus just tech and data and resources. Another message was youth need to be empowered as active contributors to the GEO work program. In terms of key actions, partnerships, and commitments, we introduced the first GEO Youth COP leadership team, including myself and my team members who were unable to be here in person, sent videos introducing themselves. We launched the Youth Mentorship Program, our matching platform, our blog series, and poster competition winners. And we announced the winners at the event. Our event also connected young people with experienced practitioners across GEO stakeholders and partners, including speakers from WMO and UNEP Grid, University of Geneva. And we had an interactive activity which generated actionable insights to inform future engagement, including with WMO and AfriGEO. In conclusion, our event reinforced the GEO's commitment to investing in future Earth intelligence leaders beyond just financial investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is a lot of information for us to. So we have a lot of homework, as a teacher. It's like we are giving ourselves a lot of homework to do. On that note, I will now call on my colleague co-chair to give some your reflections on what has transpired.
So thank you, Amos. Yeah, I think all those wrap-ups have been very informative. We got a good idea of what has been the discussions around, even if we were not there. So I don't think we need more wrap-ups and reflections. We are already very tired. So I think I'll start giving some relaxing tone to the thing, but still informative, I hope. So during the opening, we defined the word innovation from the Greek origins. You remember that, right? I think I should, okay, I feel pressure on this. Yeah, I'm not Nick. My son is Nick, but anyway, I'll keep up the tradition for the closing of the symposium by defining the word symposium, symposio in Greek. So it's syn, it's a prefix like in the words co-design, co-create, collaborate, coordinate. This is what we are doing. And the second part is posis, symposium, posis, which means drink. So, symposia are the events in ancient Greece where people come together and drink to clear their minds and have some philosophical journeys about the current and the future status of their existence. This is exactly what we are doing here. Of course, I have to confess that I had a very intense deliberations, and then we reached a decision by consensus with myself that I wouldn't define symposium at the beginning because it would be a little bit awkward to hang around drunk here, and doing that stuff. But I think we have achieved what we wanted to achieve during this symposium. So, very many thanks to all the members of the program board for the efforts to bring together the work program that we are now implementing. And a priori thanks for the work they are going to be undertaking during the phase 2 of our implementation plans evaluations, let's say. Special thanks to the Symposium Task Force for conceptualizing and designing the content of this symposium, and of course all the session organizers for the engagement and for the effort they devoted for the success of this symposium. And last but not least, each individual GEO Secretariat staff, because if it weren't for them and all these organizing details, I think we wouldn't succeed the way we have done so far. So I think the greatest applause should go in this direction. Yeah, now over to you.
Thank you very much, Evangelos. I think we're writing the GEO edition of My Big Fat Greek Wedding here, and I love it. I think the best evidence that this was a great, successful event is the fact that this auditorium is as full now as it was in the morning of day one. Personally, this is first for me. I've never seen it this way. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for engaging, and thank you for, just thank you. Also, thank you once again to the organizers. I shall repeat, to the program board, to the committees, to all of you, because as Wembo said in the beginning, this was very much a crowdsourced event. So thanks for putting your time, energy, resources into this effort. And thanks to the volunteers from the University of Geneva for helping make things run smoothly and being so pleasant and part of this convening. And of course, to the GEO Secretariat, a big thank you. Huge thanks once again to China for creating the tote bags with the goodies inside, to the videographers and photographers. We were able to see all the GEO Symposium shenanigans so quickly. Whatever did not make it into the official version, Sam, I hope we have that for the Secretariat consumption during the monthly mingle. I also really want to say thank you for these guys. I hope you all have them. If you didn't, I hope GEO Community is not going to be selling these on eBay for 5,000. But as of tomorrow, I was thinking of maybe proposing that this be a GEO mascot, but I realized there will be some trademark sensitivities potentially. We don't want to go there. But as of 2 days from now, these guys will be all over the world as the real ambassadors. So I hope you put them on your desk and they be a reminder of this great energy and the things you've committed to do here, so that they don't go into a faraway drawer, and a reminder of the action. But I think it's a pretty neat Earth Intelligence for All ambassador. I do want to say GEO is special, really. GEO is special because it is the place where childhood dreams come true, and no mission is impossible. And I do have evidence of a young girl wanting to be Judge Judy, and she became one here. Maybe not Judy, but meet Judge Andiswa. And then we had what may have been an impossible mission elsewhere, but here it was not impossible because Laurent Dereux transformed into a UN interpreter for a session within 3 seconds of an ask to save the day for one session. This is the community where no distance is long and impossible to cross. So Bradley, having now come here after 60 hours, and you will have to go back 60 hours again, I want to ask you, did you get what you wanted out of this event? You think you'll be back?
Yeah, thank you, Director. I suspected that you might call on me, so I cheated a little bit and
You prepared
some notes ahead of time.
Did you follow the template on the slide?
I did not. I did not follow the template. So as the GEO principal for the Pacific GIS Remote Sensing Council, we already have a working partnership and a work plan with SPC and the Digital Earth Pacific project, where we have focused on at least demonstrating some of the Digital Earth Pacific products to our members, as well as trying to get use cases from our national focal points. So I think maybe in that sense, we're already active in the GEO community, and I think that's great. But based on my engagement and experiences here, I see a wide variety of different tools and products that I think would be beneficial to our Pacific Island members. And we'd be more than happy to help promote some of those resources through our various mechanisms for distributing information. We have webinars, listservs, things like that. And we have an annual conference that'll be in Fiji this year, and you all are obviously invited.
Fantastic.
I think I also would want to encourage GEO to make sure they reach out to the Pacific GIS and Remote Sensing Council, as well as Indizwa and at SPC, to make sure that we're able to help you connect to the Pacific Islands community. And I think it was definitely worth the 60 hours to get here. It'll be about 35 on the way back, so it'll be a little bit easier, but thank you for having us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Bradley. Well, to all of you rule followers and the rule breakers, I do want to say, because you have just come away from these sessions with ideas to follow up on, with connections to further develop and pursue, I realize we kind of saved something for last, but it is something that fits this conversation. It's a space for you to take action and not wait for the Secretariat to go out with an email and say, here we are proposing another something. We have created a GEO community space, that's what we call it. That is intranet for the GEO community. It is your platform. It is your community engagement platform, virtual platform, where you can begin conversations. We'll provide light touch moderation just to make sure that, it moves. But truly, do take advantage of it. And I know you're probably thinking, I've never seen it. I have no idea what she's talking about. How do I go about it? Well, we have Rick in the audience, who will point you in the right direction. And since you're all so savvy, and this is rather intuitive, right? It's very intuitive. And since this is very intuitive, you'll be able to navigate around this community space in no time. So I really do hope that Bradley, you and everyone else who is, I had an idea, I had a spark, I know what I want to do next, take advantage of this setup. And we turn the 0 views into 7,500 views by the end of next week. Rick, do you want to say something while you show?
Sure. So the GEO community space is accessible through your GEO account. If you don't know what your GEO account is, you just go to our website, and in the right top corner, you log in. If you don't have an account, create one. And in that account, you will see the words GEO community space if you're actually contributing to one of our GEO work program activities. If you're not contributing to one, please sign up for one of the activities, contribute, and then you can start talking to each other on this platform. The first part are the general channels. You can just talk about general subjects in between the activities, events, news, and updates. And then you have your own activity discussions that are going on. So I'm the admin, so I see all the activities, but you will see only the activities that you contribute to under this general channel. So you can contact the others through the general channel, and then discuss internally through these your activity channel. So you can start any subject, and you can follow a subject, and you get email announcement when somebody reacts to it. It's really a really nice environment to start talking to each other, independent of email and all that. And it's all centralized in your GEO account, where you do your registration or your official delegation, et cetera, et cetera. It's the place to be. Okay, thank you.
I like that. It's the place to be. Well, on this note, this is obviously the place to be, but for tonight, we are finito. And I think you all have places to be this evening. So without any further delay, once more, thank you very much for this very productive 2 days. We'll see, hopefully, all of you again tomorrow for the GEO Plenary. Cheerio.